Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed, subscribe. Yes, subscribe. Yes, so you saw by the title how to become Andrea, I think it's Sachs. Is that how you say her last name? I think so. But it's from the movie The Devil Wears Prada, and I can't wait for part 2. Like, I'm so excited. But yeah, let's get into it. So I've been watching the movie and I just had to pause it because I was just like not feeling, well, actually, no, nothing wrong with the movie, but it's like I'm feeling, like anger, rage. The reason why, because in today's age, nobody has etiquette, nobody has nothing, like nobody's dressing apart. They're not, it's just a lot of people are acting like very entitled, very lazy, and they don't want to learn. And when I was watching this movie, I had to pause it mid through it. I realized that Andrea, this is how you become her. She wanted to be a journalist, but she knew in order for her to be a journalist for top people, she had to do something that was uncomfortable. She decided to become Miranda's assistant. And her dad, I just finished that scene. Her dad was like, "Oh, why'd you go to college? And, went to this 4 year. You did, you used one of the best in classes and now you're an assistant." And she told her dad, like, "Hey, Dad, I have to do this in order for me to get into these rooms." Because like she said, when I go to Paris Fashion Week, Miranda's going to be around people who are editors, photographers, etc. And then she can make her way to the top. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember growing up and I knew that, like, I wanted to become something big, something huge. But I remember my parents telling me, like, you got to start somewhere. So I was working at fast food places and stuff like that. But while I was doing that, I was also at home studying, studying fashion, studying, reading magazines, watching TV, etc. Because I knew that this right here, this is not what I wanted to, like, this is not my end goal. Nothing wrong with fast food, but this is not my end goal. This is not my end goal career. But I know that this is going to get me somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I was working in retail and I was like looking at clothes, shoes, etc. Just looking at other designers, studying it and see what people like, etc. Sorry guys if you hear my neighbors. It's just every time I film, they just want to be nosy. It's really going on my nerves. I'm so sorry about that. But yeah, so I just was doing what I needed to do to get to where I wanted to get, and that's what Andrea did. Like, she didn't know anything about fashion. She didn't know nothing at all. She wasn't scared to learn about it. And, she was willing to learn. And that's what's wrong with a lot of people today. They don't want to learn. They just want to be whiny and ego. I think the character name, his name is Nigel. Andrea went in, well, first, and she was supposed to trying to get Miranda out of Miami to get to New York to see the twins recital. Ended up not working, and Miranda went off on her. She went into Nigel's, when he looked at the photos, she was crying, and like Nigel was like, "So quit the job. This is how you become Andrea. Stop whining, okay? Stop whining." She stopped that whining as soon as he told her. He said, "Quit." He said, "I can replace you in 3 seconds. Like, I can replace you right now. Quit." Like, and then also, socially awkwardness. She learned that as well. You cannot be socially awkward. When Miranda asked her to come into the room when she was looking at the belts, she laughed it. And then she was like, "Oh, these is the same belts." When in reality, they aren't the same belt. One had like a silver band around it, and then one didn't. They were different. They was the same color, but something was different from it. You know what I'm saying? She was like, "Oh, this is the same thing." And then Miranda read her through filth. You think it's just they're the same. Like, you think clothes is just clothes. You wearing a blue sweater. Like, somebody designed that. They didn't just release it, just to release. Like, it told a story. You know what I'm saying? Like, people act like they're not they're not, a lot of people online be like, oh, I can't stand fashion. I hate, designer clothes, etc. Da, da, da. But everything you're wearing is designer. It may not be high-end designer, but it is designer. Somebody decided to make that sweater that you're wearing blue. They decided to do that color blue. They figured out this is the fabric to do. Even working with people at Shein. When a lot of people at Shein allegedly be stealing from small businesses, they look at that stuff. You get what I'm saying? They make sure, okay, this is what we want on our website. It's not just stuff. I don't like when people do that. Like, oh, it's nothing, da da da. Like her boyfriend in the movie, like she came in with gifts and stuff. Oh, actually no, let me wait for that. But yeah, it's just sometimes in life you have to get read through filth. Like Nigel Miranda handed it to her. A lot of y'all need to stop being scared when people tell you exactly who you are. And it's like, you have to take accountability. She took accountability. Oh, no, that's not accountability. Yes, it is. You're working at a top magazine and you're dressed like that. You don't see nobody in that room dressed like how you were dressed. So obviously you have to dress the part. You can't be whining and getting mad that people treat you some type of way. This is just how it is. Either you're going to quit or you're going to suck it up. And that's what Nigel told her. Like he said with the magazine, this magazine saved his life. Basically, his siblings was playing, sports and he was under his covers watching a magazine. You think it's just a magazine. It's not. It's freedom, basically. So you got to watch what you say. Do not be socially awkward. Don't be all dumb out here. Stop being all stupid and stuff. Really, really, really evaluate what you're saying out loud. And a lot of you guys do not do that. Andrea, she had 3 strikes. She had 1 strike with Miranda, 2 strikes with Nigel. Nigel was like, girl, let me help you real quick. Because I like you. Miranda liked her. We want to keep you here, but you got to play the part, girl. And she did what she needed to do. She asked Nigel, you know what? Okay, help me with looking better. Help me doing this. Help me doing that. I want to learn. I want to get better. And she did just that. It took her a while, but that's how it is. You have to adapt to a new environment. And she did. It took her 2-3 days. And she got like that. If you want it, you're going to do whatever you need to do to get it. You're not just going to whine when things don't go your way. You're not going to just whine without doing it. You're not going to keep whining without you doing the work. Y'all like to whine and be like, oh, why is this not happening without doing the work? You're not doing the hard work. You're whining like how her father was, etc. Okay, another thing how to become Andrea. So when she did a whole makeover for herself, etc. I love when she does makeover. She looked at flawless. Her friends. So she gave her friend a Marc Jacobs bag. She gave her friend a cell phone that cost thousands of dollars. Then Clinique and stuff like that. And her boyfriend was jealous. He was drinking his drink. He was jealous. And then he was like, oh, why does a woman need all these bags? All of that, just need one bag to fit everything in. You socially awkward. 1, but 2, because she ended up breaking up with him. Do not be around people, because she, later in the movie, she was not around him no more. She really was around any of them. No, I think she was still friends with the black. Yeah, she's still friends with the black girl. But do not have a partner or a friend around you who is socially awkward, but 2, make you feel bad for wanting more things. People like to say online, oh, if you buy things in 2s, you're neurodivergent, you're artistic and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with people who are artistic and neurodivergent. Nothing wrong with that. But it's like y'all, like a lot of y'all want to make these things a title when it's not. There's nothing wrong with buying things in twos, and there's nothing wrong with having so many purses, so many options. Because someone like me, I realized, sorry, I realized, you know, you have to have options. You need multiple shoes. You need multiple clothes. You need multiple bags. Because if you keep using one thing all the time, it's going to run through. And it's going to cost you in the end. You want your things to last. You don't want to just run it until it's, down to the, down to where it's in scraps. You want to take care of your belongings. So you do. And he you cannot have people around him like that. And later she realized that. And another thing is, her friends took her phone. I had this happen to me before. Her friends took her phone, playing with it, tossing the phone, thinking it's a game, and this is her job. Didn't y'all all say that cheers to the jobs that's paying our rent, basically, that's paying our bills? So why is it that with her job, you're getting mad that she's giving y'all gifts? She's working a job that's paying the bills. You're mad at that. Because ain't no way I would have took my friend's phone, playing toss with the other people, thinking it's a game. It's not a game. And she got angry about that and she left. You cannot have people around you like that. You cannot. And Andrea ended up distancing herself. Am I saying it right? Distancing herself from them because they were ruining her image. You cannot have people around you who's ruining your image. You can't have people around you who think things is a game. Didn't you all say we all should work a job that pays our bills? So why is it when it comes to mine, it's an issue? You can't have people around you that make your new actions like it's an issue. You can't have people around you like that. You got to be around people who feel grateful for the job, feel grateful for the clothes and stuff, gifts, etc. Feel grateful. A lot of y'all are not grateful no more. A lot of people in this world is just not grateful. They're not. They're not grateful for eyes. They're not grateful for their lips. They're not grateful for their cheeks. They're not grateful for their toes. They're not grateful for their fingers. They're not grateful. They complain about everything every single day. So many people would kill to have what you have. Stop thinking it's not stop thinking it's not something that you should care about. You need to care about it. And Andrea did. She did just that. She did just that. Another thing, how to become Andrea, you have to play the part. I think I said this in the beginning, but yeah, you have to play the part. She knew as long as she got close with Miranda, she knew she was going to get into the rooms that she wanted to get in. You have to do that. You got to suck it up and do what you got to do. Sometimes you might have to people please. As long as you don't lose your identity, but sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to do stuff that you don't do, like you normally don't do. That's how you're going to make it. But a lot of people want to whine about it. And also how to become Andrea, you have to have etiquette. A lot of y'all don't have etiquette no more. A lot of y'all don't care about how you dress, especially when it comes to these jobs, you wear what you wear out and about. Like sometimes when it comes to winter for me, because I've always said this, winter is very expensive for me and I don't be having money all like that. So the way I be wearing, it's not that prettiest, but it's nice. It's decent. I'm still matching. It looks decent to me. I love very much 90s coated stuff, like a windbreaker jacket, windbreaker pants, shoes, and a hat. It looks like I'm going skiing. That's how I dress for the wintertime. I look like I'm going skiing. That's how I dress. That's what I do. But when it comes to these jobs, like when you work in these like places, a lot of it's just the hair ain't right. Then I don't know what's going on nowadays. Y'all not wearing hairnets at these restaurants. It's no etiquette. There's no structure. There's no discipline. And it's like, what is going on? Terrible managers. Oh, I had this happen to me. I went to go see an apartment. I ended up sitting there for a bit. The people in the office is a clear, mind you, the office is clear. They see me, they're looking, they're talking, they're looking at me. Obviously, I'm here for a tour. And then I told her I'm here for a tour. And then she said, oh, the other girl's going to come. And then lady came. And then we went on a tour. Then the lady told me that the rooms, the apartment that I'm seeing is not available. So why did you have it on your website, making it like it was available when in reality it's not? And then she showed me an apartment that had a balcony. And then the one she was going to give me that was available, the one that was online wasn't available. But it was online, but it wasn't. But it was another one that wasn't available. It had no balcony. Mind you, she was also on her phone. She really wasn't talking. She just was so socially awkward. She was Gen Z. And it's just like, what happened to the etiquette? This is why I love rewatching these movies, like these past movies, like Devil Wears Prada, etc. It's making me get back to what I used to be, because a lot of you guys do not have etiquette, structure, discipline. And when you keep feeding that in your brain, it does make you like, oh, who cares anymore? Like, you have to care. It's not always about how you look. It's about, sometimes what you eat, etc. You can eat however you want to eat. But you know that when you always eat this food every single day, it makes you feel lazy. How about you eat it, twice a week, change it up. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember when I used to eat bad a lot, junk food all the time, I remember like I was feeling sluggish. I couldn't even make it up the stairs. And this is not talking about weight. I was a decent sized weight. It had nothing to do with weight. Had everything to do with my diet. That's how you become Andrea. You need to evaluate your life and realize, I got to change my ways. This ain't it. I don't want to look like this anymore. I don't want to keep doing this anymore. I might have to level down for a bit in order for me to get to where I need to get, but my eyes is on the prize. Her eyes was on the prize. Stop whining and do the job. That's all. All right, like, comment, subscribe, and peace. So, you have to be how to become Andrea. You have to learn how to be a little self-centered. Always put yourself first. You always, yes, care about the people you love, but there's also going to be times where you're going to miss those moments, and you got to suck it up and keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, she had to fire Emily because Andrea told her so. And Andrea was telling her, like, what about you and your future? Like, Emily knew at 1 minute she's going to be gone. So it's just like, you have to care more about you and your career than anything. Put yourself first, always. Everybody comes second. Just put yourself first. And at the end, Andrea, she didn't want to keep following Miranda's footsteps. She didn't want to become her. If that's what I mean with, being self-centered, care about yourself. She saw that a lot of those girls were not becoming their self anymore. They was becoming clones. They was basically becoming her pet, Miranda's pet. And she didn't want to become that. She wanted to be herself. She wanted to, she wanted to make it to the top, but not the way how Miranda was. She did learn from Miranda how to do it, etc. She got into the rooms, but also she always put herself first. Because if she didn't put herself first, she fired Emily, as she should have. But also, she made sure that she did what was best for her. And that's what you got to do. That's how you become Andrea Sachs. Like, subscribe, and peace.
Go right straight out, look in.
Look in. One quick question.